Okay, as we all know, CS2 just isn't as good as CSGO, which is an objective fact, and anyone who says otherwise is more wrong than the mustache guy in World War II. As for why, I'll explain later in this video. But, what if I told you that you can play the game you love again? Yeah, you're probably rolling your eyes like some sassy as hell KFC bucket, but I'm being serious. No whitelists are involved, no alternative variants of the game that replicate an older era of its lifespan, just CSGO with everything working except the matchmaking, but we have a server browser for that, so it's okay. Now, how is this possible? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Linked in the description below, there's a GitHub page that includes a program called CSGO GC. This is a replacement for the old, deprecated game coordinator that the CSGO Legacy branch uses, in favor of something that is more local to your game install rather than being on a server. If you don't know what a game coordinator is, think of it as a host for the game. A host that does things like show dedicated servers in the server browser to be connected to, controls what skins the account has, and many other things that aren't relevant to this video. But generally, it makes the most recent version of CSGO have almost entirely restored functionality as it once did. Also, since this method of playing CSGO again is relatively unknown like a 4-subscriber YouTube channel, it needs to be populated with more players. However, a friend I know on YouTube, who is this guy on screen right now, made a Discord server for gathering people to play CSGO with this new game coordinator replacement. I recommend you go here to find games as well as figure out how to add skins to the game since it's a little complicated than usual. The SparkNotes version of it is basically just having to edit a text file with the skins you want. Although, from what I've heard, the one guy working on this game coordinator replacement says he's working on a GUI application for skin editing and putting them in the game, which is cool if you ask me. So yeah, you could play CSGO again. If you want to know how to install it, follow these steps I'm going to talk about on screen right now. Step 1. Go into Steam, find CS2 in your library and go to its properties. Once done, go to Betas and install one of these two branches here. This installs the latest version of CSGO before the release of CS2. Step 2. Go to the GitHub page I linked in the description and grab the game coordinator replacement like I'm doing here. This is what makes the game playable beyond bots and workshop maps that were previously installed. Remember to download the one that matches your operating system. I'm on Windows 10, so I'm installing the Windows version. Step 3. Make a new folder on your computer called literally anything you want. It could be called Fetus Deletus for all I care. Then, once that's done, copy everything from where CS2 is currently installed except that game folder, since that's where CS2 is currently installed, mostly. Then, once done, rename csgo.exe to literally anything else you want. I'd recommend csgo.oldexe, as this is a sort of backup for the old, deprecated game coordinator that Valve used to use. You don't have to do this though. Finally, step 4. Drag the files for the new game coordinator replacement into a newly created folder that has the game installed. And then the installation part is done. Now, all you have to do is add it as a non-Steam game and type -Steam and -insecure into the launch options. This makes it so one of the pop-ups does not appear when you boot up the game. There you go, play the game all you want, and if you're cool, you join the Discord server. This is me in post right now. I know I said my friend owns the Discord server, but guess what? That is actually me now, since he isn't really actually happy with how Discord is being handled right now, and understandably so. Although we might open up another community for people that don't want to use Discord, which is in determination right now. We're kind of deciding between Root or Matrix at the moment. So if you have any suggestions on which one you want to use, come message me or him and we'll think about it, because we haven't really decided yet. Alright, back to you, scripted me. If you happen to want to know how to host a game server for you and your friends to play on, watch this video by the guy who made the Discord server. Unfortunately, he's British, but that's a small price to pay to play borderline peak. Anyway, if you're somehow still not convinced to play CSGO, let me tell you why CS2 is awful and you shouldn't be playing it right now. Reason number 1. CS2 just has way more cheaters than people in Alabama who smash their siblings. We don't have these in CSGO since it was gone officially. Not only because it's not as widely known that you can still play the game, but there's also very little incentive to cheat unlike CS2 where there's also a monetary incentive to do so. Either way, nobody likes these basement dwellers whose favorite hub category is animated. Even if there were cheaters, they would be way easier to take care of because you could just ban them from the server you're playing on rather than waiting for a dysfunctional anti-cheat doing nothing. Or the admins will just ban the guy. It doesn't really matter, you get the point. So in reality, there's less cheaters due to the 3 reasons above. Reason number 2. CSGO just feels better than CS2. I know, this is a more subjective reason, but now you can actually play the game and see for yourself. While CS2's game feel has improved in areas like netcode and hit registration since launch, it can still feel more inconsistent than CSGO. And guess what? There's also 120 tick servers as well. If you don't know what that is, please Google it. I cannot be bothered to explain the difference between the two. Again, this is more a subjective reason, and it depends on person to person. Some people won't notice a difference, some people will. But I would play each of them and make up your own conclusion. CSGO just felt way more consistent across the board, and that's generally the public opinion. And while I think CS2 by the end of last year has gotten closer, there, it's just not where CSGO was. For me personally, the biggest issue I have with it is the third-person animations for player models while strafing. It's just hard to tell which direction someone is strafing towards, and that kind of sucks. Unfortunately, I can't fit a mediocre joke in this paragraph, so let's move on to the next reason. Reason number 3. Content. Oh boy, we went from eating 5-star meals to starving like a poor African child. We had plenty of maps and a lot of game modes with ways to play the game as the player pleased. CS2, as of writing this video, has far less than what CSGO had. Sure, you have remade maps, but that's only going to get you so far. We used to have maps like Cobblestone, Cache, Assault, Militia, Lake, Short Dust, Lunacy, Bank, the list goes on. How many of you guys have even played on these maps? If you're a zoomer, the chances are you probably aren't even aware that these maps existed in the first place. I mean, sure, the removal of some of the content makes sense to me. Nobody played Danger Zone when it was available because it wasn't remotely similar to Counter-Strike, and if you said you did, please stop lying, because if you did, Valve would have prioritized it in the release of CS2. Why else did CS2 only launch with the list of game modes on screen, with only 2 of them being re-added? But either way, the amount of content that CS2 has right now is about as embarrassing as the Summit 1G incident on Train that happened at DreamHack. And finally, reason number 4. Free skins! Now that I've obviously convinced people who actually play the game to come play CSGO again, now I'm going to convince the dirty skin cells to come play the game. Because sure, you might be ruining CS2 with your current gambling addiction, but you physically cannot ruin this one. Why? Because the skins are free! And also because no updates. And sure, you must add them in a confusing manner, but there's a channel in the Global Retake Discord server for you on how to do it, assuming if you're lame and care too much about these digital pixels. If you want your gambling experience, just use the inventory.txt file and add whatever case or sticker capsule you want to your inventory. Not only am I telling you that there's an alternative to your gambling addiction, but that alternative doesn't affect you poorly. You've got nothing to lose now. And sure, it doesn't go to CS2 since they are different game coordinators, but like a poor unpaid Christian door-to-door salesman asking people to be baptized, I don't gotta convert you. Because you're a skin cell, your mind has fireworks whenever you hear the word free and skins. Besides, you're not going to play CS2 again once you know that this game has free skins with gambling that doesn't break the bank. So what are you doing? Come play CSGO with me and the few people that are already in the community. Where is the
Molotovs, dude? He's over here. He's over here. He's.
Well, okay, we can play the bomb then. Joke's on him. We can play the bomb.
Yeah, he's right here. He's right here.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. No. He's there.
What? No, I can't see. Yes! And look, if you found CS2 as it is, then that's fine. I cannot convince you to play a game you don't care about. But if you're someone that really enjoyed CSGO when it was around and wanted to try to play it before it got replaced, now is your chance to do so. Have fun playing it, and the people already in the Discord server welcome you openly. However, since I don't want to make another one of these videos again on why this game is better than this one, I'm going to explain what Valve could do better for CS2. Because my mom always told me that you cannot complain if you don't have solutions. Yeah, she isn't as wise as you're thinking, let's just say that. Anyway, what I would do first is the third-person leg animations that I mentioned in this video earlier. Enemies Ferrari peeking you is more cringe than the U2 scenario when the waiter says enjoy your meal. Next, I'd make all servers 128 tick. Honestly, this just feels better than 64 tick servers. Going from 64 tick in CSGO to 64 sub-tick servers in CS2 is barely that different. It's like the difference between a Discord mod and a Reddit mod. They both don't shower and get zero pussy. They might as well be the same thing, if anything. However, if it's really not that possible, community servers should have the option to run 128 tick servers, unlike now. Also, I'd add most of the missing content from CSGO. I think we're personally good on game modes because I think things like Danger Zone and Flying Scotsman aren't really what I would call Counter-Strike, they just don't fit to me. Oh, and Demolition is about as boring as a white guy who shops at Trader Joe's. However, I think all of the maps from those game modes should be added back into the game, which I mentioned some of them already in this video earlier. But hey, on the topic of game mode, since we have both Premier and Competitive in the game, why not rename Premier to Competitive and replace Competitive with Scrimmage from CSGO? You know, that unranked 5v5 matchmaking mode that has essentially been what Competitive mode has been reduced to anyway. I mean, not for me personally, I just play casual mode because queue times are just generally faster and I can switch teams if I wanted to. Oh, and speaking of casual, the warm-up timer should be 30 seconds instead of over a minute, and also make it so the matchmaker rarely drops into empty servers with Valve bots, because holy shit, that's more annoying than an autistic kid with a soundboard. And finally, just have an actual anti-cheat that cuts idle bots and cheaters. These guys just don't deserve human rights and should be incarcerated. But that's just me. Maybe someone in the comments will probably say something like cheater lives matter or something, I don't know. But hey Valve, I hear you don't like doing work, right? If you don't want to constantly manually ban cheaters, let us do it by bringing back Overwatch. I don't know how you ban cheaters the few times you do, but allowing us to help would surely increase efficiency, right? We get the game to be cleaner with less bad actors that ruin the fun, and you get to do less work, even if there's still anti-cheat maintenance that would need to be done occasionally over time. It would make the wait less painful for them to get banned because we could just do it ourselves. Anyway, I think I said all that's needed. CS2 still sucks after I made this shitty video over a year ago now, but now you have the option to play CSGO without some gatekeeping whitelist preventing you from playing the game like Supremacy, for example. Not that I have an issue with the project itself, but we shouldn't be gatekeeping what I would argue is Valve's greatest multiplayer game. Again, if you're not happy with CS2, you should seriously come over here and play the game you like way more. And if you're not willing to play this, and you only want to play CS2, then all I ask for you to do is stop spending money on the game, because not only will it benefit your wallet, but it'll also benefit the game in the long run. Don't buy this shitty limited time skin, don't buy this sad excuse to regulatory compliance, and especially do not buy these butt plug looking trinkets. This game could be better if we just hurt Valve where it actually hurts. Planing's good, but hurting their wallet also matters a lot, which is what I also would suggest if you do still plan to play this game. Complain and don't buy anything. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, well, I hope you step on Legos when waking up tomorrow. However, if you're cool and not square, you would like and subscribe. And hey, I hear YouTube has a new hype feature, right? I don't know if I actually have it, but you should use it if you really like this video and it's on this video somehow. Either way, I must attend to my dusty OEM HP desktop. I think I should use that as a server slave box so I can host servers for CSGO.
I'm gonna make a value right now, Alex. If I get a kill with Janichiro's cock, whether it's on you or with someone else in like the kill feed, you gotta like show it and then play the line I say.
Okay, I will put it in the video at the end.
Okay. And he collects CS2 knives. He doesn't tell anyone about it, but only Pixel found out. Oh my god! Yes! I got it!
Fuck, y'all are at the other site.
1 HP! 1 HP and Janichiro's cock stays.